manipulating the markets so that he could quietly enrich his friends who bought the dip before reversing it all in the morning. Boise, this is a matter of fact. Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud, liable for sexual abuse. Of course he's lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too. When he talks about rapists and criminals, he should look in the mirror.
Woo! AOC dropping the truth mic on Boise, Idaho, calling out the criminal-in-chief, the convicted felon who is squatting in our White House, blowing off federal court orders like fleas, like this one, where he's still refusing to allow the AP full access to White House press events. Freaking shameful criminal. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe. You're watching the MeidasTouch Network. Trump, who was caught on tape the other day telling human rights violator and dictator Nayib Bukele that he wants to send American citizens to El Salvadorian death camps now.
Homegrown criminals next. Yeah. I said homegrowns are next. The homegrowns built. You got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah, that's big.
All right. It's not big enough.
Isn't he a homegrown criminal? I mean, the hypocrisy is rich, no? He's an adjudicated rapist. He's convicted of 34 felony charges to illegally influence an election. And yet his regime is admitting that they made a clerical error when they illegally deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the death camp in El Salvador known as SICAT, a terrorism confinement center that is accused of mass human rights violations from all around the world. And not only that, but Bloomberg News is now reporting that 90% of the migrants that Trump's regime deported to El Salvador's death camp had no American criminal records. None. So it's all a lie. And yet psychopaths like Pam Bondi, Stephen Miller, and Caroline Leavitt are slandering them, calling them terrorists.
He is an MS-13 gang member. He was engaged in human trafficking. He illegally came into our country. And so deporting him back to El Salvador was always going to be the end result. There is never going to be a world in which this is an individual who's going to live a peaceful life in Maryland because he is a foreign terrorist and a MS-13 gang member. Not only have we confirmed that, President Bukele yesterday in the Oval Office confirmed that as well.
Let me just touch my cross in solidarity of the Christian love that she shows to her fellow human beings. So everything that she just said is a lie. It's pure and total gaslighting as she represents Trump. The Trump DOJ hasn't presented any evidence of Mr. Garcia belonging to any gang, much less MS-13. And when you are in court, that's what you're supposed to do is present evidence. They don't have it. He was picked up in an IKEA parking lot because I saw him wearing a Chicago Bulls cap and he has tattoos and he's brown. That's it. And it's not up to President Bukele to make the call as to whether or not Mr. Garcia is a terrorist, as Garcia was deported by and from the United States. And the fact that the Trump regime is openly defying a Supreme Court ruling is not lost on a lot of people. Check this out. Watch as a group of older, mostly white people in Trump acolyte Senator Chuck Grassley's district confront him at a recent town hall meeting. The clip is kind of long. I did try to edit it a little bit for brevity, but what they are saying to Senator Grassley is so important. I really want you to hear it. So check it out.
The least of these we do to Jesus. And that is what we've been taught. And that is what the gospel tells us. And I think turning away people who have come here for asylum is one of the most shameful things we are doing right now.
Yep.
We welcome refugees. That's legal status.
Senator Grassley, we're not right
Just a minute until it's quiet so I can hear you.
Senator Grassley, right now we're not. I mean, right now we're not. These changes have been taking place, and that's what concerns me so much. It hurts.
No due process. Are you gonna bring that guy back from El Salvador? Yeah. Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
Supreme Court said to bring him back.
Judges are.
Yeah.
And the president isn't upholding the Constitution.
He's defined the
You're on the
Constitution.
Judiciary Committee.
Trump don't care.
If I get an order to pay a ticket for $1,200 and I just say no, does that stand up? Because he's got an order from the Supreme Court and he's just said no.
Yeah. He just said, screw it.
I'll be able to answer your question.
You ignored my letter.
Guatemala or El Salvador is an independent country. The president
Speak
of
up,
that
please.
country,
We can't hear you.
the president of that country is not subject to our U.S. Supreme Court.
The president wanted to bring him back. I'm pissed.
We're paying him to keep him down here. We don't have to pay him. Excuse me, Senator Grassley, on that same subject, the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution said that every person, not citizen, every person within the jurisdiction of the United States has due process. That has been violated. That has been violated by the administration, and we would like to know what you, as the people, the Congress, who are supposed to rein in this dictator, what are you going to do about it? These people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a foreign country with no due process. Why won't you do your job, Senator?
Yeah.
Trump's not obeying the Supreme Court. He just ignores them.
Yeah, screw it.
Constitutional crisis. What does that consist of? A constitutional crisis exists when you have a president who ignores the Supreme Court. You have a Congress who fails to rein in a third branch of our government.
That's right.
Who is now violating our Constitution. You took an oath. I do solemnly swear or affirm. Do you remember that, sir? Yes, sir. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That power exists within you and your other members of Congress. Do you speak to your other persons in the House of Representatives of your party? Do you communicate with them often? Do you discuss any of this with them? Do you hold any concern that Congress will be the next branch that Trump comes for because he is coming for the judicial?
That's in Ruby Red, Iowa, my people. That clip gives me hope. Like, perchance the tide is turning. And old Chuck has no defense. He got no game with those people. He's been ride or die with this corrupt administration from the beginning. And now he's getting called out by his own constituents who have had it with him. And he's just sidestepping. You know, he's trying to blame shit on Democrats because he knows he has no answers. He knows what they're saying is right. You know, there's one point where he raises his hand like, oh yeah, I remember my constitutional oath. And they're saying, well, then do your fucking job. You know, and good on those people for knowing what their rights are, what other people's rights are, for knowing what the Constitution says, that every person in the United States of America has the right to due process. Good on them. We should all be that aware of our rights and other people's right now, because this corrupt and criminal regime is running all over not only human rights, but our constitutional rights. It's just horrifying. It is so vile and gross, and it's lawless. You know, in a very dark and quite frankly frightening time, where we have ICE agents just randomly showing up at schools in LA, lying to teachers, saying that we're here on behalf of these kids' families. Just like, this is just depraved freaking Nazi behavior. I saw a video this morning. They were knocking the doors down at some guy's house randomly. And again, he knew to tell them to leave. Again, this is why it's so important for us to know what our rights are. And they were like, oh, okay. They're like, oh, is this your house? And he's like, yeah, it's my house. Get the F out of here. And they left. But this is what they're doing. They are kidnapping people who have the right to be here in the U.S. just off of our streets. We have an American president, a criminal man who is openly defying the rule of law. And in the midst of this, it is really good to see people like those people in Iowa fighting back, holding their representatives to account. I've been very open about my own Congress member, Jen Kiggins, who refuses to meet with her own constituents here in Virginia. And it's absolutely bloody shameful. And I pray that, as I'm in a very ruby red district, that people will not send her back to Congress, because she does not deserve to go. It's just gross. But, I've said it recently in all of my takes, as scary as things are out there right now, and oh my God, they are scary. Courage is truly contagious. So when you see AOC up there speaking just like a baller, like she and Bernie Sanders and people at a town hall meeting and people telling ICE agents to get the F off my property. You have no right to be here. It's like telling the devil to flee. It's like, get out of here. Get thee behind me, Satan. Sorry. But just know for real, because these people they're evil, and they are operating on behalf of a truly evil president and his people. These people, when all of this is said and done, and I'm claiming it will be, that we will take back America, I believe that everyone who has been complicit and operating in this wicked Trump regime is held to accountability. And I mean that by criminal counts, because what they're doing is just revolting and vile. And they are harming millions of people, from ripping away SNAP and trying to take away Medicaid, to the human rights violations of what they have done to the hundreds of people they shipped down to a foreign freaking gulag. Anyway, yeah, it's just really awful. Anyway, let's be fierce. Let's be fierce together. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you back here soon. My socials are below. Please follow me on my socials. I'm on Instagram a lot, and I just started a new Substack. I could really use some love and support over there. You guys, it's just me. I need some followers. Please join me. I love to write. It's my first love and passion. So I'll be posting content there, and I could really use your support. And I'll see you back here soon.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.